Hey, Natsu here. Today I was supposed to do this um earlier, well, basically at 10 p.m. yesterday, kind of 3 hours late, but yeah. So I'm going to do it now as well as the other what if that I was going to do right after. Um, so this will be part 3 of what if Deku had the power of the one-tailed beast from Naruto. In the last part, I ended it kind of. Well, no, literally right after the UA entrance exam, I explained. Well, I made Deku pass out because he used his monster form. Then everyone kind of stayed. Well, everyone was told by Bakugo about his power, well, about Deku's power. Um, then Izuku asked why Ochako had so much power. She explained that she had a two quirk, but that one of them just kind of developed not long ago while she was training, and that it basically harms her body, so she doesn't even know if she can use it. And All Might told Nezu that yes, it was true that Deku, when he was young, basically harmed All Might, but no big deal. Only in his monster, he would only harm him in his monster form. So yeah, now we arrive at the first day of UA. Basically, Deku was already told that he was going to be in, so he wasn't waiting for a letter. So he arrives with Bakugo, um, because now they mostly go, well, they mostly get together at some point on the wait school and then go together. So they arrived together basically at the same time that Deku did in the original. So Bakugo wasn't in um, class when Deku arrived, so Ida wasn't mm, bugging Bakugo. So yeah, so Bakugo after a bit, um, basically just went sitting like he was sitting. Ida started telling him to not do that. Then Ochako entered, basically 10 seconds after Ida started talking to Bakugo. Um, yeah, okay, so after that happening, Ochako enters. Um, then she says, "Oh, it's you. How are you today?" Which Deku turns around and says, "Oh, hi, Ochako. I'm pretty good. And you?" And basically they start talking. Nobody else in class knows the extent of Deku's power and the second quirk of Ochako. Well, they don't even know her quirk yet. Um, when Aizawa enters, basically the same thing happens. Then with him telling everyone to get in their sports uniform and to meet him behind the school. Um, in the changing room, Everyone except Bakugo that basically knows everything about Deku's quirk basically sees, well, what looks like tattoos and stuff like that, because his eyes are basically seeing, well, easy to see, and some on his arm, but they see that he has a lot more than that. A lot of black marks almost all over his body, which they do ask what the hell it is, because if he has tattoo at that age, which Bakugo says they're not tattoo, they're basically part of his quirk for some reason. They just are there. Which Deku says, you're not a. It's okay if you'll let me answer some of the questions. Which he basically says, yeah, but you take 10 years to explain whatever, everything about your quirk, so it's easier if I just tell them out, outright what it is, instead of you going on a rant about it. With Deku kind of thinking, okay, yeah. So everyone gets in their sports uniforms. Um, they go outside. Um, and Nezu basically told Aizawa that if he wanted to expel a student for anything, at least no matter what it is that Deku does, to not try and expel him, because he can be more powerful than All Might, and we don't want to see him fall into the wrong side, because he would be unstoppable. So that's one thing that he has that was told by Nezu. Anyway, he would never do it anyhow. He did still do the threatening, but still, so he knows about Deku's strength. So he tells Bakugo to launch the ball, simply because, well, kind of easy to know. His quirk is the flashiest one. He throws it about twice as far as he did in the anime, which I think was 700 and something meters. So he launched it far. When it's done, basically Aizawa well, that's when um, someone says, I think it was Ochako, oh, this is going to be fun, and then he threatens them. Sorry. So then they start doing the tests. For the speed one, Mizuki can basically go faster than he does simply because he doesn't need to accelerate that much compared to Ida. He can basically just transform into sand and go as fast as he wants, like that, no matter what. So yeah, pretty much he passes in front of Ida for that. Um, Ochako does a bit better as well, since she trained this time. A lot, in fact. Um, the jump tests, Izuku and Bakugo both got infinite because, well, they can fly and Bakugo can basically do it without any strain on his hand by controlling the exact amount of power he uses behind it. So he basically Deku, the way he flies is he places sand under him and just kind of make himself float, which just doing that is basically not using any of his stamina, so he can do it for basically ever if he eats, sleep, and whatever, doing stuff like that. For their grip test, Izuku basically breaks the machine. He basically turned his arm into part monster form and basically crushed it, which did surprise everyone that didn't see him transform in the entrance exam. It didn't shock either Ochako, Bakugo for sure. It did shock Aizawa because he was told that the kid was strong and that he could not expel him, but they didn't tell him outright what his quirk was directly, just the name of the quirk, which is basically Santanuki, that he called it, that they called it because of the form he has when he is in monster form, in fact. So he wasn't ready to see that happen. So after that, um, they go for the side-to-side jumps, which he basically just kind of makes sand on both sides and just kind of create his body on one side, break it down, makes it on the other. Basically doing that like really freaking fast. So high score for that. Basically being at high score for everything up until when they arrive to the ball throw. Everyone passes before he does, and except Bakugo, everyone has the same score. Since I would say Ochako, but infinite is infinite. She's going to get it anyway. So when it arrives to Deku, what he decides to do is basically just kind of creates, well, sands his makes more sand by breaking the ground, and then just kind of place it around the ball, like a massive amount of it. Throws the ball with all of the sand around it, and then just kind of makes it so that every time the ball starts to fall a bit, the sand just kind of throws the ball again with more sand around it, and continuously doing that. And he basically got all the way to space, so he got infinite like that as well. Which then someone asked him, "What the hell is the range of your sand?" Which Izuku said, "I don't know. All I know is that I can throw stuff to space with it. That's all." Which basically everyone except Bakugo were like, "You can do what?" So yeah, basically he got first place. Like that's easy to know why. Um, Nobody gets expelled, even if I would like to expel Mineta, but I don't do it in any of my what ifs. So the next day, All Might enters the class. Izuku sees him and compares directly Ochako's and All Might's energy, just like that, and basically just kind of looks um, at Ochaku and just give her a look of, yeah, you're basically has almost the exact same. kind of energy, which she doesn't see it, but basically it's just because of how he's looking at it. So yeah. So he tells them to get um, in suits, then to meet him in one of the cities. When they go there, well, Izuku's suit is basically normal clothes, in fact, since, yeah, when he transforms, well, basically his clothes are already sand. He just kind of changes the color and density of it. So he kind of just keeps that on, since he can literally have anything he wants. So he did make himself some type of hero suit, but it's mostly something that has a lot of places where if someone attacks him, he can basically make sand from his body and send it around the people that are close to him without making it look as if he was actually doing it. Because let's say he's somewhere that there's no sand around him, he has to produce it from his body. So basically, he has types kind of like baggy clothing. So yeah, basically everyone looks at him and are like, "Why the hell do you only have that?" Which he just says, "Okay, what would you prefer?" And basically changes the sand around him to make different clothes and hero suits. Basically, me copying the hero suit of some of the others. Basically, making a copy of Bakugo's suit, then a copy of Kirishima's suit, and you see the point. And some of them are laughing because, well, mostly Kirishima and Bakugo, because Kirishima really didn't see it coming, but he, he was thinking that his hero suit does look good on Deku, mostly with the tattoos and stuff like that. Um, Bakugo was mostly laughing at the face that the others were making, which they ask him why he's laughing that much, and he says, well, quite simply, well, no, basically what he says is that their faces are priceless, except the school uniform. Almost every clothes he wears is basically just his sand that he models in different ways. So yeah, that's basically the reason he did go and change from school uniform to sports uniform, since they are true clothes compared to everything else that he wears. So yeah, he since the moment he learned to do that, he basically never actually went buying other clothes. Since, funny enough, just because he kind of just because of how he is made, except if you basically place him in water, he or in massive amount of heat, he won't really be bothered by temperatures. Oh, it's starting to get cold. Just put another cover of sand around you. There you go. So he is quite frankly hard to kill. He is resistant to temperatures, and he basically chooses whatever clothes he wants at the time. If he wanted to, he could also change what he looks like completely. So, but yeah, he doesn't really use that most of the time. So, the same teams are made for the hero versus villain, and Bakugo says, well, that's not fair. Which all might ask why, and both Izuku and Bakugo says, I'm too OP. Well, basically Bakugo says he's too OP, and Izuku says I'm too OP. Which all might ask again, what do you mean? And Izuku says it quite frankly, I can turn into sand and completely go around the entire building. I don't think anyone would be able to actually escape that. So you can already set it as I won. Which All Might decide to say, okay, you cannot do that. Which Bakugo says he could also just turn a part of his body into sand and pass again through any of the attacks that we try to do, or basically just walk through them and just let his body reform and regenerate. Then basically saying multiple scenarios, and All Might says, so you really just don't want to fight him? Which Ida tries to kind of tell Bakugo we might have a chance, and Bakugo looks at him and just says, look, if he wanted to, anyone could be dead in moments, even All Might. So, with just hearing that, everyone basically just saying, yeah, you're laughing. Well, you're lying. Nobody could do that to All Might. Which All Might just basically thinks, you know what? I'm going to tell them the truth. Actually, I fought against this kid while he was in his monster form. And back then, he wasn't as strong as he is right now. And he was able to harm me quite easily. So now I think if he transforms, he could literally just stomp on me and kill me. So I'm not even surprised that he asked me not to fight him. So yeah, basically he says that because yeah, he knows what it's like to fight Deku. It's been a while and he knows that Deku increased in strength massively from what Bakugo explained. And so yeah, he's just thinking, okay, next group, and yeah, so for everyone else, basically they kind of get it the same way. Um, for the class president thing, let's say Deku was instead of Ochako touching Ida to make him float, Izuku made basically sand to grab everyone, then grabbing Ida and placing him higher for him to scream to everyone. He became class president, and so yeah. I was going to do the USJ, but I think I'm going to keep that for the next time. Simply because I'm kind of. How can I say this? I've passed more time doing the script for the next What If I'm going to do than I did for this one. So this one isn't kind of as detailed as the other one, and I kind of didn't do the USG yet. So yeah, Hope you like it. I liked it. Leave a like if you did. Natsu out.